Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio. This is Carol Parisi with our founder, Jack Roser, and a very special guest today, a leader on a mission, Mr. John Lawson, who is running for the House of Representatives 56th District. And John, what do you feel is the biggest and most compelling problem in Illinois, and what are some of your solutions for that problem?
Well, there's a lot of problems.
Okay.
And how I put it right now is Springfield's burning right now. The state of Illinois is crumbling. And there are so many issues. There's Medicaid, there's pensions, there's the taxes. There's so many issues that need to be addressed. And my opponent's number one issue that she thinks is the problem here in Illinois was she introduced legislation to put a restriction on internet dating. And when that came about, I mean, there are already laws. I mean, I've been doing this for 27 years. If there's a victim out there, we will take care of it.
Right.
And we don't need to come up with legislation when Springfield is crumbling about putting a restriction on how you date online. So with that aside, what I've been doing personally...
That carries its own penalties within it, I think.
Yeah, and what I've been doing personally is I've been meeting with a lot of business owners in my district. And the reason why I've been paying attention to the businesses too is because one of the things that I will do would be to repeal the corporate tax, the increase of the corporate tax. I already signed a pledge to repeal the 67% income tax increase. Now, I do know by being at one of my opponent's town hall meetings that she will not repeal the corporate tax. She believes that we need it out there.
Those rich business people, shouldn't they be paying their fair share?
You know, we need, and it's just like assessments. Everybody needs to pay their fair share. That is the whole reason of having appeals for your assessment. So you're right. We're all in this for one reason. And I've always said this. It's like Budget 101. You do not, when you open up your checkbook and if you have $100 in there, you don't write a check for $101. So that's what we need to do. You know, I think that we elected officials, be it we're at a local level or a state level down in Springfield, we need to see what we're spending money on.
What do you think? You were mentioning Medicaid and pensions and the tax increases. If you were to pick one area that you and I know they're all important, I get it, it's all synergistic and it's all a huge problem. What do you think is kind of the root of all of this evil?
Well, there's a lot of roots, but here's the one example. When I was in Springfield, and I was just amazed on this, and I give this story when I go knock on doors and I talk to people, is the Medicaid. People don't know, and I found this out, that $60 million a year, $60 million a year,
taxpayer
dollars goes to Medicaid recipients that don't live in the state of Illinois. So I raise my hand and I say, how can that be? Well, because once you're signed up, you're signed up. It's like, well, why don't they come in every year to see if they
clean
qualify?
It out and make sure, right.
So to me, I look at it as law enforcement. To me, that's fraud.
Right.
So let's go after the $60 million of people who we're paying for who don't deserve it and give it to the people who do deserve it.
Right.
That's just one.
They possibly could be in another state on a similar program. We wouldn't know anything about it.
Double dipping.
They could be double dipped.
You're right.
Talk about waste, fraud, and abuse.
That's just one. But, you know, and Jack, you've said this all the way through. One person cannot do this. We need six. And we need six to be able to open the eyes and say, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this Medicaid fraud going on.
We need 6 more people in the House.
Yes.
Just to get rid of Madigan and the Democrat controls of everything that goes on. Let's just pose the problem fair square here. Illinois is the most crooked state of all 50. Everybody knows that. And the other thing is, we are the most broke state. We have the worst credit rating of any of the 50 states. The most broke and the most crooked. What a great label that is. Who's in charge? Up and down, every damn piece of it. Chicago, the mayor, the governor and both houses, the Senate and the House down there, with Madigan running the whole thing. There's no question about it. Madigan is a supreme leader. He is a leader, and an evil one at that. He's the guy that's forced all this crap from the Democrats on us, that's given us the label of the most crooked and the most busted. Thanks,
Well,
Mr. Madigan.
Well, we are busted. What are your feelings on pensions, the Illinois pension system?
Well, the pension system needs to be addressed. I am in the public safety pension, so I see it. I have sat down with the teacher's pension. We are all on agreement, and I can't speak for other members. I'm just speaking as
Police
myself.
pension is a local pension, isn't it?
We are, yes, it is centered around your municipality. So your money is all in your
So
municipality.
it's a separate problem from the teachers thing. In 1996, the craziness of the way the whole K-12 system is run, the union has been dominant. The IEA, I can show you graphs from 1993, from what the heck was the name of that magazine? Forbes magazine. Big graphs showing the upward trend of the unions and the pay and the downward trend of the student achievement. That's 1993. Folks, that's a long time ago. And it's got nothing but worse. The union is running the whole damn K-12 system. Hardly anybody gets elected to a school board unless the union allows it to happen. And they're running the legislature as well, because there's $135 million last year that came out of the teachers' pocket. They paid dues to the stinking IEA union, and the stinking IEA union corrupted the entire political system of the state of Illinois, not only for the pension system and for the schools, but their influence ranges over the whole panoply of everything that goes on in the state, and that's why the Democrats have turned it into the most crooked state in all of the 50. And where does the money come from? The education union. I wouldn't call it the teachers union, because the teachers are the victim of their own union.
Well, I think
the teachers union is the one that has ruined the pension system and put it roughly $100 billion in the hole. Can never be paid, but that's at the state level, because by 1996, the crazy corruption of the K-12 system that's gone on with the stinking IEA union and the Chicago union as well, but that's a minor part of the whole state compared to the stinking IEA. They deserve no respect at all. They aren't helping our kids. They sure aren't helping the taxpayer. The union is at the bottom of the corruption because they put all of that money in, and that money has corrupted the political process in this whole state. That's what's going on.
Michael, I noticed your...
Yeah, you were mentioning the $60 million that goes to people, recipients outside the state of Illinois.
On Medicaid.
On Medicaid. That's, to the people down in Springfield, that's chump change. Just this year alone, not counting new people coming into the school pension system, just COLAs alone, just the 3% cost of living increase jacked up the pensions that are now being paid by $91 million. And that exponentially goes up every single year.
What he's saying is the truth, and the size of it is it. Listen, the policemen and firemen are the guys that take the flames and the bullets and stand up for it, and their pensions are paid locally. Those things, like so many of the pensions, are under political influence, and they have a problem. But it's small compared to this thing with the teachers' union. Teachers' union has outrun that 100 times to 1, and it's a state problem, and the other problem is local, and it can be handled by local politics and local things, and there's no sense picking on the policemen and firemen and other decent people in a pension system locally. The big problem is where you're going to go is get elected in the state and do something about the stinking teachers union.
Well,
that is the enemy of everybody in this state, is the IEA.
I think the teachers, you and I were talking when we were off air, and you're saying as you reach out and you speak to teachers that are potential constituents, they're concerned if they're going to even have their
Oh, yeah.
their pensions.
The other thing is you can go bust and have a bankruptcy locally in a city, and if any of the agencies, including any pensions happen, the local thing can be handled with a bankruptcy. But the state of Illinois cannot legally go bankrupt. But believe me, it will crash.
It is bankrupt. It is already
It's gonna-
bankrupt.
It is bankrupt by any ordinary means, but it will crash.
We'll be back right after the break.